makes sense why they got the other engine. Anyways, let's keep going. Actually, let me open the door. Hey, welcome back. I am here with my Doodlebug, mid 50s, late 50s, early 60s, something here. Anyhow, I would like to try to get this thing running in this video, but first, it needs a bath. Just a bit of moss on her. Hit it with some purple power and let it soak. It looked like $1,000,000 when we're done here. Well, it looks slightly better. It doesn't look like it's any less of a tetanus threat than it was before I washed it, but yeah. So I was looking around this thing as I'm washing it. So this tank, I believe, is a fuel tank, but they must have had some kind of issue because there's a big piece of, looks like fiberglass, like they tried to patch a hole in the bottom. And I noticed there is this here, which is actually going around to the fuel pump. So they must have had an auxiliary tank right here, which, you know, that's whatever. That power unit back there actually has the in-hood tank if we wanted to put one in there. And that power unit also has the exhaust style that comes around the back, so we could maybe run it out the back or backwards and down, or, you know, something a little nicer than this whoop-de-doo here. Additional to that, it actually seems like we have 3 clutches here. We have this clutch, which goes to that bell housing. We have this clutch, which goes to this bell housing down here, and what I believe to be a 3rd clutch right there, this little over center guy, which doesn't seem to be real operational these days. Let's get this pushed into the shop, and when I get some time here, we will start tinkering with it. Definitely going to need to narrow this thing up a bit. It's a bit obnoxiously wide. Let's see if we can take a look inside this fuel tank, or what I think is a fuel tank. Smells like rust. Doesn't smell like old gas, so that's a plus. Oh, wow. It looks, I think, really good in there. I wonder why they quit using it. Okay, it's got a little bit of rust, but it's, okay. All right, I see. I can see the pinholes. Oh! Oh gosh, it's worse than I thought. Use my phone, maybe I can get you a better look at this thing. See if we can get some light down in there. Going. See, there's a couple holes all the way through, big holes all the way through. Some cobwebs. Come on. Hard to get it to focus, but it's rough in there. I guess we can say that. Okay, so with that being said, and that was probably because somebody thought it would be cute to add this little cap on here, and doesn't look like they really sealed it at all. So probably got some water in there, laid at the bottom of the tank, rotted it out. So not ideal. So we won't be using this tank immediately, at least. Just kind of taking a look at this front axle. It's been cut and re-welded right there, and cut and re-welded right here. So they basically took the arch out of a car axle and made it a straight axle. You can still see the center arches there, but both sides have been cut and re-welded right there, which is pretty neat, I think. I think with the transmission having that frozen, cracked spot in it, I think it would be best to probably drain everything out before we turn it over. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's drain some fluids. I think we might as well start with the actual cracked transmission itself and go from there. Can to catch any water that comes out first. There's the water. Touch of oil in there, not much. There's definitely more grease and oil in there than I expected. We'll let that drip out and see what happens. Whoever built this front drive case or adapted it did not create a drain plug. So I guess the best I can do currently is open this guy up and see if there's any oil or water in there. This looks like what you would call a fill plug, like a level plug. There's nothing else lower than this. Looks like there is oil in there. Use this little zip tie as a dipstick to see kind of oil. Yeah, looks like just real heavy gear oil is what they got in there. It doesn't seem like it's collected any water, so I'll leave that be for now. Well, right down here is the level plug for the gearbox coming right off the engine. Let's see what we've got here. It's not over full. The plug is not rusty. The oil actually looks really nice in there. I'm gonna just crack the drain plug on this thing though. If it's got any water in it, we can let it out here before it turn the engine over or anything and stir it up. Oh yeah, water in there. Not a lot. Let some of that come out and we stick our plug back in. That seemed like mostly condensation. You know what? I'm just gonna let it drain though. There's no reason to save that. Just let it drain out. Let's get this rear end draining as well. Got some water in there. Oh man. Hopefully it's not a ton. Aw, jeez. Holy cow! Get the fill plug out of it. Ooh. That's no good. That's no good at all. This thing must have sat outside for a very long time. Hopefully the rear case on this is not cracked like the transmission was. I don't think it is anywhere. I guess if it was holding all that oil, probably isn't. But, oof, let that drain. Let's see if we can crack this drain plug on the engine. It's a big one. I don't really want to drain this oil if there's no water in it, because I kind of would like to see if I could get the engine to fire off. It's dark, but there's no oil, there's no water in it, so I'm going to leave that to tighten back up. We can do some looking on that engine. No sludge coming out the bottom either, so that's kind of impressive. Well, I think the next step here is to pop these spark plugs out and take a look in the inside of this engine and see if we can turn it over 360 full rotation. Because I kind of grabbed the crank pulley and verified it wasn't seized when I picked it up, but that was it. I think these spark plug wires are probably holding their shape well enough that I don't need to mark them. That one a little carboned up, but doesn't look too bad. Same thing there, carboned up, but not terrible. Yeah, pretty much same there. Seems like they're all running a little rich or burning a little oil. Yep, they all look pretty well exactly the same. Okay, we're gonna look down in cylinder number 1 here. Alright, well, we can see the valves right there. Seats look a little crusty, but the valves are both hanging down. Cylinder walls don't look terrible. Definitely a little rust in there, a little scratching in the bores, but it'll run. Cylinder 2, got more moisture up here. Valve looks a little crusty, right at the top dead center. I think a lot of that's carbon buildup. It's not even necessarily corrosion. It's really dark like it's carbon. Number 3, got a valve down, doesn't look terrible. Same deal. Almost top dead center. Fair bit of carbon buildup. And cylinder 4, got a valve down, and yeah, it don't look terrible in there. Doesn't look good, but doesn't look terrible at the same time. I do think some of those valves should not be hanging down though, so I'm thinking we got some valves that are kind of hung up. I think now I'm going to throw a wrench on this crank pulley and we'll see if we can get it to turn 360 degrees. And if that works, we'll throw a battery in it, see if it'll spin over and build oil pressure. I'm going to mark this bolt head right here and we'll rotate it around until we see that again. There we go, that has made it all the way around 1 revolution, so nothing should be hitting anything. Let's throw a battery in it and spin it over a little quicker. These terminals have a lot of corrosion on them, so get that cleaned off before we get a battery in here. I find that a lot of times the corrosion is so thick that a brush won't take it off. You gotta kind of gouge it off with a knife or something with a sharp edge. Well, kind of crawled around this thing trying to find whether they had it hooked up 6 volt or 12 volt, and I can't find anything that leads me one way or another. So this guy here should give us plenty of cranking amps. It does appear they had it hooked up negative ground though, or positive ground. But we won't be using any of the charging system, so even if it is set up for 6 volt, we shouldn't damage anything. Maybe burn out a coil at the worst. Well, our transmission, multiple, whatever, are all in neutral, so hopefully we don't have anything spinning. And I think this is our start button. Ooh, it's working. Let me show the spark plug side when we crank it, in case a bunch of junk spits out. It's a little bit coming out of there. It's a little something clanking. Wonder if we can get this cranked long enough to build some oil pressure in this gauge here. Whether or not it works or not, I'm not sure. There we go. There we got oil pressure. That's a good sign. And we're not working that starter motor too hard because it's under no compression. So I did notice our shaft up front here is turning, and I don't want that. I can show you here. So try to shift that backwards. No, that's still moving. Spin that. See if any position undoes it. Oh. Oh, okay, so forward on the shifter engages both shafts, upper and lower. Center and reverse Okay, so this is a high-low. That's a low, that's a high. That should be neutral. I guess worst case, it's not really turning much. And, well, let's see if this little clutch works. See if this disengages this shaft, or if this clutch is probably seized. Oh no, this clutch works. So you know what I'm going to do? This is probably a bit of forward thinking, but I'm going to put this clamp on here. That way, if we get this thing to run, we aren't spinning any of the drivetrain that doesn't have oil in it. Perfect. Just safety precaution, and I don't want to do any more damage to this drive line than has already been done by the water freezing. Well, let's take a gander under this distributor cap and see what we got going here. Yeah, the inside there looks pretty nice. Somehow I didn't fill this with water, pressure washing it. Dust cap off. Ew, a little dirty in there. I did get water in this. That is for certain. Let me get some air, we'll blow that out. Oh yeah. I don't know if I did that or if that was already in there, but no good regardless. Yeah, right here this is some WD-40. Just kind of dry this thing back out. It's not the best oil, but I'll use a little bit of it down in the oil cup here too. This will help dry this all out. Looks like we had power to these points. Oh yeah, we do. Let's unhook the battery. Not charged up anymore. We'll squeeze a points file in here. I am curious why this thing came with an extra engine. Makes you wonder, does this thing have a rod knock or something in it? It's mainly what I want to do here is get it going enough to determine that. I just need to hear it run for a few seconds, really. Make sure we're on the high side of a lobe. Check our gap here. It's a fuzz tight. Yeah, we'll see if any of these will come loose. Oh yeah, that's good. Yep, all right on the money. Oh yeah, see it sparking? That should work. Now, I didn't see it fly anywhere, but there should be a little clip right on the end of this rotor shaft, and it appears somebody has lost it somewhere along the lines. And when that happens, the rotor gets a lot of play, like a lot of play in it. So let me go out to that parts engine and see if it has one in it. This one definitely has one in it. It's good and tight. Little guy right there is what we're looking for. Might as well take a look in this guy if we need to. Oh yeah, this looks really good. Cool. Just have to remember we stole the clip out of it when we go to get it running. Cap back on. And get this guy on there. And put our rotor back on. There you go, now it fits nice and tight. And we'll reinstall our distributor cap. I'm going to brush up these plugs a little bit. Not a whole lot better, but a little better than they were. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I am curious to see how many stuck valves we have, because like an awful lot of them hanging down when I looked in the spark plug holes. So let's crank it over and listen. If it sounds like a nice even crank, we don't have any stuck. But if it sounds like one or two has compressions and the other ones don't, then we got some stuck valves. We might have a lot of stuck valves. Put my hand over this intake and see if it's actually sucking any air. I think we actually aren't doing too bad there. This is probably really wishful thinking, but I know it's got oil pressure. I know there's nothing stuck in the cylinders. We should have spark now. Let's just shoot a little. I think this is flammable. Extremely flammable. That'll work. Give her a dose. So we do have a throttle. It seems to be opened already. We have a choke. Pull the choke all the way. It did just pop, actually. I know somebody's gonna yell at me for doing this already, but I want to know if it knocks. Alright, I think it would fire if I could get some more fuel in it. I think what I'm gonna do next is stop just cranking it, and let's see if we can feed some fuel into this carburetor or not. With any luck, it's not gummed up. We'll see. The reason I'm thinking it might not be gummed up is because this bowl on the fuel pump is not gummed up, so that gives me a little hope. I'm gonna add a little heat to this brass fitting. That way hopefully it'll come loose. Oh wow, that fuel line is extremely clean inside. And let's see if we can break this plug loose on the bottom. That's clean. There's no tar in that carburetor. Let's see if we can spin this fitting loose. Dang. That'll work. Passage is open or not. Oh yeah. We got air coming back. A little dust. Ended up trimming off the intake line into the fuel pump and using this guy to, I'm going to couple my temporary tank to the carburetor. I don't think any of that like dust that came out of the carburetor was anything to be worried about. I think it's all like old fuel dust. I'm kind of used to seeing something like that. It's not, I mean, it's probably corrosion, but it's really light and there was no chunks that came out. So I think for the sake of just getting this thing to run and to hear it not knock or do anything real weird, I'm okay with this. Actually, I want this plug to, I want it to drain through before I put that plug in. Turn the fuel on, see if it'll flow through the carburetor. Looks like it's flowing through and around it. Seal this up. Let it fill up. See if that needle's gonna move or if it'll flow out the intake. Seems like it's plugging up. Yeah, I'm all right with that. Let's put the plug in there. Makes me wonder how many years this thing's been sitting, you know, because it's hard to find something that the carburetor is not entirely gummed up with ethanol mixed fuel. It's a good chance this thing hasn't ran in 50 years. Alright, so now we do have a constant fuel source. We'll see if the choke works. We'll see if the throttle works. We can maybe shoot it with a little bit of that brake clean as well. But I don't think it's going to run good, but I think it's going to run. Okay, I guess we'll see what she's got. We'll just give her fire in the hole, I guess. Choke, throttle. It's trying, but I'm almost thinking we've got like one cylinder that is not seized. Or that is, we have one cylinder that has good compression, I think. going to be best to pop that hood off and check under the valve cover. Make sure we have all the cylinders that can firing. Well, it seems like everything is seized up as far as the hood bolts go, so I'm just going to try to pop the cover off while it's still under the hood. Luckily, this thing does not have the under the hood fuel tank, so there's actually room to get under here. Oh wow, that's taking the whole stud. Okay. There we go. Yeah, so that one's stuck. That one is, I don't know if it's stuck or not, but the push rod's obviously not sitting right. Okay, yep, that guy's stuck too. This guy is stuck. And I think only number 4 is the one that doesn't have a stuck valve. That's what I was talking about here though. I don't know if you can see this. There's like tube coming up, and then looks like the tube probably broke and they wrapped like gaffer's tape around it and wired it to the rocker shaft. So that's not great. And we'll hit them all with a little penetrating oil. Might as well just hit every one. I am happy to see how clean it is under there. Well, hopefully you can kind of see what I'm doing here, but just taking that valve and trying to tap the valve a little bit to get it to release. I'm not sure what you have or haven't seen. The camera was not recording. Anyways, haven't got them loose yet. I'm going to try to feed some fire down through the plug hole and warm that valve up. You can hear it running through the open valve, so it should help heat it up and get it released. There we go. There's one loose. See if we can crank it around a couple times. Alright, just 2 more. It's just spinning them. There we go, that one's free. There we go, that one's free. Alright, let's crank it over and see if they all move like they should. Perfect. Alright, so I actually have a lot of confidence in this thing firing up now. So clutch is disengaged, so none of that drive line is getting rotated without oil in it. We know the engine is producing oil pressure. We now have all the valves not stuck, and we have spark obviously. So firing home, I guess. I think it might just pop right off. Maybe. Sounds like it's got a knock. makes sense why they got the other engine. Anyways, let's keep going. Actually, let me open a door. Yeah, if this thing's knocking, I definitely spoke that into existence. That's my fault. I kind of had hopes that this thing was going to run good, but yeah, guess not. Sounds a little knocky. Kind of went away. Went away. Huh. Well, let me check, see how warm the thing's getting. I don't want to keep running it and cooking anything. The head's 140. Yeah, it's barely warm. Yeah, we're fine. We can keep messing with it a while. Yeah. Yeah, we're good. We can try to get it to run here. I'm going to call it quits there because obviously the carburetor needs to be cleaned. But it runs, and whatever was knocking seems like it went away. I don't know what was going on there, but I think I need to clean the carb and investigate a little farther before we say that this engine is no good. Like I said, I don't know the history on why that other engine was purchased. Other than I think the auction they went together when the last guy bought them. But yeah, so I don't want to run this thing anymore. We got it like 120 degrees on the head. That's plenty warm. I don't think it has any water in it. The water pump's seized, etc., etc. We can't drive it because the transmission is, the case is literally split in half. But we do have a sort of running engine. Definitely worth cleaning the carb on it now and getting that going to where we can figure out if that is a legitimate knock in there or if it's not a knock. Well, I think we've done enough to wake this old, I'm still not sure what it is, from its slumber. 3 stuck valves there, and we obviously can't drive it, but whatever that knocking sound was coming from seemed to clear up. I would like to get it running a little bit better so it can sit there and idle and I can rev it up a little bit. I know the water pump's not good, but I could at least fill it with coolant so I could run it for more than 30 seconds without overheating it. I think it's got some coolant in it right now, but I definitely don't know the current level. I just know it's down in the radiator and the water pump is seized, so we don't have anything circulating. Anyhow, I think this is going to be a really neat project and a neat series. I do want to fix it up and I want to restore it. I don't know how in-depth that'll be or how soon that will happen, but this is something that and I've said this before and I've sold things, I plan to keep this around. It's awful neat, and I like it. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully I didn't offend you too much with my barbaric engine shenanigans here, but the old, I'm going to call it a doodlebug. The doodlebug lives, and it has a future here, and I hope you all enjoyed watching. If you did, leave a comment. If you think you know what this thing is, leave a comment, leave a like. I appreciate all that, and hopefully I will see you on the next one.